Welcome to Local Everywhere. I'm Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Lesley Farmer. And what co op are you affiliated with?
uh, Alberta Grocery Co-op in Portland, Oregon.
And the Alberta Food Co op has come up with a really ingenious uh, program to highlight local filmmakers. And they have a filmmakers night at their co op. So, Lesley, tell us about, I'm sorry, um, tell us a little bit about how that went.
Well, our last month we had a film night after a few other activities because on last Thursday we call it last Thursday. On Alberta Street, it's an arts district, and so the street is closed down for the day. So there's a lot of so people can walk and see the vendors and do social activities. So we use that opportunity to open up our parking lot in the store to our own activities, like a trivia night and informational offerings about emergency preparedness, and of course, movies. We see where to begin. Do you want to know like why? I mean, I don't know if it matters exactly what we. I'm terrible at this, but
Take your
anyway.
time.
Um, so yes, we showed a series of shorts. One was a really cute little movie called Pippin and the Bead, and that was made by a person who lived just less than a mile away,
Hmm.
who just did it on their own. It's about a squirrel who finds a bead, and it's adorable and wonderful. But it's the live action. She somehow got the squirrels to do these things. I have no idea how, but it's brilliant.
Hmm.
And then our featured filmmaker also presented shorts, but a little bit longer, 20 minutes. Um, um, this person, I can actually use names. Hello. Pippin and the Bead is by Lumi Barron. It was genius. Um, the other movie, refreshing my memory, is was called See Me by Dawn Jones Redstone, who's a Latinx filmmaker,
Hmm.
also from here in Portland, and is amazing. Is I believe working on feature films now, and you'll be able to see her films in various festivals around the country, I hope. We were lucky to get her. She also came and answered a few questions and spoke to the crowd. Um, and the subject matter was also local because it was about a family, well, a group of people's experience with lockdown, I guess, uh, due to COVID, and looking out at the world and how each person uh, dealt with that stress. And some of it was very funny, and some of it was serious. It was beautiful. But anyway, our purpose in bringing these uh, movies to the co-op is to just bring the community into the space, um, because every store kind of needs to do that to make people feel welcome. And
Right.
also, our bylaws state that it needs to be a community space as a cooperative,
Hmm.
and so that's part of that, sharing that space, giving information, taking information, and also, as we are a very gentrified community, um, the Alberta arts community was a Black community at one time, and increasingly is not. It's also a chance for different types of people, and experience, and race, and age, to show that they're still here and they still matter and they're still part of the community because that gets erased.
So, whose idea was it to have a local film evening at your co op?
Um, a few people had that idea, but also Thomas, who's on our community engagement committee with me as part of the board. Um, it was sort of a joint thing, but I believe he's one of the loudest voices for that, and he found one of the filmmakers. I found the filmmaker for this month uh, festival, uh, Harrison Pincenalt, who is a documentary filmmaker. He's indigenous and young and spectacular. Beautiful footage of Wilson River. We have a lot of people here are very much into nature, into hiking. I'm hoping it'll really pique people's interest. Um, and again, to show people in the community are doing these amazing things, taking time to perfect their craft and to show us things we haven't seen before or perspectives, humor. I think it's an important part of co-op.
I think it's terrific because, they're getting to show off their work, and from showing off their work, people that you never know who you're gonna encounter when you do that, and I think it's a brilliant idea. Now in Portland, is there a big um, filmmaking community that you're aware of?
There is a fairly large filmmaking community. I'm learning now. I didn't realize until recently. So then I guess that's another positive when you try out these projects. You learn, oh wow, there are all these people here, and I've also learned that there are quite a few actors. I know there are a lot of artists. Of course, there are a lot of artists in Portland. I think that's pretty well known.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of actors. So I'm hoping in the future we'll get some plays going also.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So, when you did it, when you had your first showing, um, was there a lot of people coming to see it?
At first it was about 15. And then I basically stood out in the street and hollered that there's a movie playing, come this
Wow.
way. Because people didn't realize that they could really just walk in for free. And so I had
Right.
people, no, it is free. And they're like, oh, oh. And then they walked in, they're like, oh, this is great. We had some snacks available for them for free also. That helps. Uh, Chips and water because it was very hot.
Hmm.
So that helped. The best moment though was when the mother and daughter were walking by and she had her little toy, this little toy horse. She was sort of half riding, half walking, and she saw Pippin in the beach. She saw the little squirrels on the screen, and she's like, "Oh, mom, can I go see that?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, if it's right with your mom, please do." And we found them a spot, and she just sat there and loved it, and it was beautiful. The adults are great too, but it was great. It was great to see a kid.
So you envision this happening again, right?
Yes, I believe it's going to happen again next year. In the wintertime, I'm hoping we can do, a, given it's safe because of COVID, uh, do some more informational films on cooperative culture and history. There are a lot of good films out there. Sometimes it takes a little bit more doing to get permission, but that would be something I think would be good to do.
Now the history of cooperatives, is that was that filmed by a local filmmaker?
Oh no, I'm saying in general, there are a lot of films on cooperatives in the history. I haven't found a local one yet. I would love that. I'm finding a lot of stuff from the East Coast. Um, it might have to not be local for a few of the films, but for
Uh
the
huh.
outdoor films, I would really like to keep those as local as possible, at least to the state.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're tiny, I mean, some of the films are 6 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Um,
Right.
just keep putting
Six
them out there.
minutes can change the world, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it does not have to be feature length at all.
Right.
Actually,
And
Harrison is working on a very long nature documentary. So next year we might see that.
okay. And what do you think that documentary is going to be about?
I know he was in the high desert of Oregon, so we'll
Hmm.
see a lot of animal life. He was doing some historical research also that I don't know too much about it, what he found, but he was very excited. So I can't wait till next year. Hopefully I'll see it before then. But yeah, if he wants to let us show it, I would love to show it next year. Um, it's gonna be amazing.
I think it's great that your co-op is embracing artists, and I'm sure there's a lot of clientele that are artists,
Yes,
and for people to get the message out on what they do, and you giving them a forum, I think that's pretty powerful.
I think so too.
Hmm.
Again, we are cooperatives are special that way, and
Hmm.
that they make themselves part of the community. Um, and that brings people together, we hope.
Right. Now, how long has your co-op been in existence?
About 20 years. Can't remember if it's 20 or
Okay.
21. Yeah, a little
Okay.
time, little while.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's pretty successful, do you think?
It is actually. I think we're featured in NCG as one of the most successful co-ops in the country. Actually,
No kidding.
I guess for our size, and the economy, we're not a
Right.
you know a rich co-op, but we've had very steady growth, and we're a stable business. So in these times, that's huge.
So, besides embracing the filmmakers, what other what else have you done for artists in your community besides that?
Well, before this, we uh, the CM, the collective management, had other events in the parking lot where they invited whoever was in the neighborhood who did a craft or photography, whatever sort of art they did, to come into the parking lot and sell those items. We also have a Black Street Bakery that has a pop up in our parking lot. It's been doing that, I think, for the last year at least.
Uh huh.
Um, they'll be here again on last Thursday for September. Um, that's mainly it so far. It's just whoever's there are a lot of artists who work in the store also, so they're out there too. But
Hmm.
just people right down the street come by and set up and sell their wares. Um, I'm hoping to do that maybe in a little bit more pointed way in the future.
Hmm.
Again, expanding um, the outreach to artists who may not hear from the existing pool of artists that we know,
Right.
expanding out to different communities within our community, and seeing if they want to share with us their time, their art. I've just met some artists I hadn't met previously on the street, and they were amazing. And I'm hoping to see them again.
I think it's great because, if other co-ops throughout the country happen to watch my YouTube channel and they see our conversation, they might say, "Oh, filmmakers and artists, that would be great for our co-op." I think, I think what you're doing is a great service for the artistic community in your area.
Thank you, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we'll get the other element I have not fleshed out at all. But I'm hoping we can involve youth artists,
Oh,
children,
that would
and
be wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
What
that's
do
a
you
whole other.
envision with youth artists?
Um, I would. I'm thinking like a fair, like an art fair where people bring out. We call for artists and maybe set a theme or some sort of parameters, kind of narrow it down because it could be
Mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
lot of everything. What do you feel like food? Just like, what do you feel about food?
Mm-hmm.
What's your inspiration? Is it music? Is it painting? Is it and let the kids get out there and show everyone what they have.
I think that's great. Um, so that has been one of the missions of your co-op, right? That's
Yes,
good. That's great.
because we are in a very arty area. That's one easy way for us to go. Oh wow, let's connect with the community.
Do you
It's not the
feel that?
only.
I'm sorry. Do you
Sorry,
feel? I'm sorry. Do you feel that a lot of artists go to your co-op?
I do, I do. Um, they are a very large part of the community, and it's surprising how many people are artists or musicians, who are artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot. It's a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, but that's just one way. It's a low hanging fruit for us. I'm hoping we'll think of things besides the arts community eventually. But this is great because even if you know, let's say we had the movie See Me, which is beautiful. We have this artist come in, but it touches on many issues. And so hopefully we'll interest people who are psychologists or just people who lived through the pandemic and said, "Wow, yeah, I went through that too."
Right.
Whatever it is to connect
Mm-hmm.
in experience.
Because I think, people who do some kind of a artistic endeavor and do go to a co-op, I think that their art or projects are kind of like geared towards making this world a better place. Would you agree?
I would agree, definitely. Or at least, well, yeah, a better place through beauty or reflecting upon things that maybe we all should reflect upon.
Great, 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 great. So you've been listening to Lesley Farmer. This is Local Everywhere. I'm Cynthia Pooler. And if you like this show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Lesley, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope we talk again.
Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it.